This is something that happened to me on New Year's Eve, 2024 that I've gone back and forth about whether I should ever share this, but I think people need to hear it. Because the scariest part isn't what happened, it's how easily it could happen again. That I live just outside Portland, Oregon, in a quiet residential neighborhood. The kind of place where nothing ever really happens. No crime stories on the local news. No sirens at night. Just rows of similar houses, polite neighbors, and porch lights that flick on automatically at sunset. That year, my wife was visiting her parents in California. I stayed behind because I couldn't get time off work. It was the first New Year's Eve I'd spent completely alone in a long time. That I told myself it didn't bother me that I ordered Chinese food, turned on the TV to one of those New Year's Eve countdown specials, and kept the volume low. I wasn't planning to stay up late. Midnight felt more symbolic than exciting at that point in my life. Around 9 p.m., I noticed the neighborhood slowly waking up. Fireworks popping in the distance. Cars driving by with music blasting. Occasional laughter drifting through the cold air. That I did what I always do at night, check the locks. Front door. Back door. Garage, everything secured. At 10:15 p.m., my phone buzzed, unknown number. That I ignored it. That a few seconds later, it buzzed again, same number. That I hesitated, then answered, hello. At first, all I heard was noise. Music. Voices. Fireworks. It sounded like the caller was outside somewhere. Then a man spoke. Hey, sorry to bother you, he said casually. Is this 214 Cedar Lane? That was my address. Yeah, I replied. Who's this? Your neighbor, he said quickly. A package got delivered to your porch earlier. I think it was meant for me. I walked over to the front window and carefully pulled the blinds aside. The porch was empty. I don't see anything, I said. Oh, weird, he replied. I'm walking over now. I'll just grab it. The call ended. Something about the conversation sat wrong with me, but I brushed it off. It was New Year's Eve. People were drinking. Maybe he had the wrong house. 10 minutes past. No knock. At 10:30 p.m., the doorbell rang. That I didn't open the door right away. I checked the peephole. A man stood there, mid-30s maybe, bundled in a dark jacket. He was smiling, but his eyes kept darting left and right, like he was checking the street. That I opened the door just enough for the chain to hold. Can I help you? Yeah, he said. The package. I didn't get any deliveries today. For a split second, his smile dropped. Mind if I just check your porch? He asked. No, I said firmly. You can check from there. We stared at each other, then he leaned closer to the door. You're home alone tonight, right? My chest tightened. That I shut the door and locked it. Immediately, he knocked again. Harder this time. I'm just trying to get my stuff, he said, his voice sharp now. I already said no. The knocking stopped. That I listened as his footsteps moved away. That I told myself it was over. That I was wrong. That at 11:05 p.m., the motion light in my backyard flipped on. That I froze. That I don't have pets. That I slowly walked to the kitchen window and peeked out. The yard looked empty, but the gate was open. That I never leave it open. My phone buzzed. Same unknown number. A text message appeared. I can see you. My heart dropped into my stomach. That I shut off every light in the house and crouched behind the kitchen counter. Fireworks were going off constantly now, booms so loud they shook the windows. Another text came in. You should have opened the door. I called 911, whispering as I explained everything. The dispatcher told me officers were on the way and instructed me to stay quiet. At 11:58 p.m., the fireworks became non-stop. The noise was overwhelming, perfect cover. That's when I heard it. A soft click, the back door handle moved. Another click, pressure, someone was testing the lock. That I stared at the door, barely breathing them why phone vibrated again, Happy New Year. At exactly 12 a.m., the back door slammed violently, the deadbolt held that I screamed. Minutes later, sirens cut through the chaos. Police flooded the street, searched the neighborhood, and combed the woods behind my house. They never found him, but they did find muddy footprints leading from my backyard into the trees, and taped to my back door was a printed photo that a screenshot of me standing at my front window earlier that night, taken from outside that I sold the house 3 weeks later, and every New Year's Eve since 2024. I don't celebrate that I lock my doors, turn my phone off, and stay away from windows, because some people don't wait for invitations, they wait for distractions, they wait for noise, they wait for midnight.